The first night I met you, I was like, I want to be her friend.
I know, that's how I felt about you. It was instant, like, fireworks.
So I wanted to show you the notes I took for our interview.
0.
We
don't need notes.
But I do want to just start with, after all my years in radio, I want to learn from you because you are the podcast queen.
Oh, man. There's so much that goes into it, right? You have no idea. Like, even as we're setting up here, there's 1 billion different things that you have to do.
And FYI, for everybody watching, after doing all this radio, I'm producing this, you just saw, 100% on my own.
Right.
All the audio, all the video.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of, like, newness that you have to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, I've always edited audio, but it's a different world.
Completely.
And from those who watched the first episodes, you know, it's been a labor of love and I've learned a lot.
Well, I always say, like, even when I look back at my old podcasts, I knew that I was going to look back at the first few episodes and be like, holy hell, that was terrible, you know? And then you get to, I think we did 90 or 88 episodes at that point. So you start to get into a groove. But as long as you look back and be like, first episode, not so great. 5th episode, not so great. But then you start getting in your groove and you start learning, which is what it's all about.
I'd like to already apologize to Stephanie Quayle, who was really my first podcast, and that episode will never see the light of day. So I love you. She knows that. I love Steph. I will have her on again at some point. You know Stephanie.
Yes, I do. She's a sweetie.
I've learned, again, I think you are the queen of this in your career, in your life as an artist and as an athlete, I can't wait to dig deep into just everything you've done and the example of growth, reinvention, which, you know, particularly for me in the past year and a half, has been just a daily reminder of you just have to hit that reset button every day. Mm-hmm. You have to remind yourself you're doing better than you think you are.
God, that's a huge one, right?
That has been my mantra, particularly the last 6 months.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's also one thing that I do is look back and look at the little wins. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to be like a year and a half into it and think about all the ways that you screwed up along the way, right? And then but if I take the mindset of, hey, that was good. You did this with that song, or you showed up to this place, or you met this person. Like, those are the little wins along the way that kind of keep me going, because I can take myself down a rabbit hole of doubt fully and just kill myself down there.
Literally, everybody can, especially, I think, in our business and the business of being creative, where you are your product. You're not a report that is like you have this tangible thing at the end where you go, oh, I did that and it either sucked or didn't suck. Like, it's so personal.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And particularly for me, because singing my entire life was my biggest fear. It was the one thing I always wanted to do, but the one thing I was literally deathly afraid of. It was a phobia of mine. And so it was something that I really had to work throughout this entire time. It's just insane the way our mind works.
Well, and you are a multi-talented Fawk.
Thank you.
Friend of Kelly.
I really want to put that on my wall.
Multi-talented Fawk.
Yes.
So I'm here to encourage you as a really cool Fawk.
Thank you. Fawk away.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, professional athlete, kickboxer, wrestler. Did you have a wrestling name?
I definitely. Oh no, it was just Whitney Miller. It was nothing like. I wonder what it would be. I know, right? Whitney the blank Miller. I don't know.
The enforcer.
Yeah, the Fokker.
Yeah, the mother Fokker.
Yes. Maybe I should go back just to get a name.
This is how I felt about my radio career, because I worked with a mud flap. I worked with, you know, I feel like nicknames stand out more.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Pinky or, you know, Curb Feeler or something.
Pinky.
Something.
Curb Feeler.
Something.
What is a curb feeler?
Well, not us, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Somebody else. Gun rack. I don't know. Just something that stood out more, because honestly, people would be like, they want to know what a gun flap. That
they do want to know.
One.
Yeah.
I think nicknames stand out. What do you think The Rock?
It's true.
Other than he is The Rock. I mean, I think he does not need a nickname.
I mean, that is his
Dwayne
name.
Johnson, though. I mean, The Rock is more memorable than Dwayne Johnson.
It really is. I don't even really know him as Dwayne Johnson. I know him as The Rock.
Oh.
I mean, I know, but like,
Was that just a subtle, you know him?
no, I don't know him like that. Just name wise, like if you were to bring
I'd
up
have left
Dwayne
that.
Johnson, I would just have to think like, who's that? But if you said The Rock, instantly no.
And by the way, that's the thing about people with nicknames. Then they want you to know their real name. I'm like, I'm cool. Cher. I can just be Cher.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong? No, once you get a nick, just own your nickname.
Go for it.
Yeah. Do you think like Shania really wants to know Eileen? Nobody. Shania's so much more fucking cool than Eileen.
Yeah, it's true, and it stands out more. Everyone knows Shania.
Right.
Everyone loves Shania.
Yeah. So I mean, now, all of a sudden, The Rock wants to be Dwayne. No, just be The Rock. It's cooler.
Too late, buddy.
Too late.
You built that up, and you got to stand on that mountain.
Right. So it's probably too late for us to now adopt. It's like nicknames.
Never too late, Kelly. It's never too late.
It is like nicknames. You cannot give yourself a nickname.
No, it's not.
You can't. Like my daughter, when she was at the end of high school, she's like, hey, I want to try to be known by my middle name, which is, to be fair, is kind of cooler. I mean, Grace is a beautiful name.
It is.
It's a beautiful, beautiful name. But her middle name is my mother's maiden name, Kerwin.
Oh,
kind of cool.
Well, that is really cool.
So she was like, right after she got the dagger tattoo, she was like, I think I want to go by Kerwin. I'm like, I support that
On brand.
1,000%. In fact, her name in my phone is still Kerwin. But it didn't work. It's hard to...
Didn't stick.
Can't really say, hey, call me Kerwin now.
Yeah. Well, you can just say I changed my name.
Yeah.
I had an ex that changed his name, but it does take people a while to catch up to it because everyone's going to call you by whatever your original name was for at least a long time. So you got to be pot committed.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you got to be totally committed, and you have to be okay with telling people multiple times that you go by Kerwin now.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that it can. I think you're right. It can absolutely work.
Yeah, but you got to be you're married to it now.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it did not work for her. It's okay. Grace, she's down with it. And all of her, she's it's good.
Grace is a good name.
It is. So
she's
back
not missing out.
No, she's awesome. She's a badass. As you got a dagger tattoo,
yeah,
you're probably a badass.
No question.
So yeah, no nickname for you in wrestling, but you did wrestling, commentating. So it's interesting, again, back to you did the one thing you feared the most, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And also interesting.
Thank you. Also frustrating and annoying.
I almost want you to lay down on the couch and tell me why.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can.
Okay, good.
I'll lay down on the couch. I'll lay down on this seat right here. Ready?
Yep.
So when I was 10 years old, I had someone really close to me tell me I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
And I was like putting on this whole show and they're like, you have a terrible voice. You should never sing again. And as a 10-year-old, I'm like,
trauma.
Okay, I believe you, right? Because this is also coming from somebody that I thoroughly, thoroughly trust. And so they tell me I can't sing. So clearly I can't sing. And then I start to identify with that. And it became a full phobia. I would never, ever, ever, ever sing in front of somebody.
I hate this.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say out loud that I wanted to be a singer. I wouldn't even write it in my journal that I wanted to be a singer because I was that terrified to make it real.
Is that what made you pursue athletics?
I started athletics when I was 4 years old. Right. So it was just always a part of my being. Both of my brothers were really athletic. My mom and dad were very athletic. And so that was just kind of a part of me. But I do think now looking back that I wanted to do all of these other things and accomplish all of these other things. One, to be loved because that was how I was loved. And then two, to hide the fact that I really wanted to do music and sing. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking, if I could accomplish this, then I'll forget that I want to be a singer. That does not work. Mm-hmm. I will let you know. And so I basically did everything else my entire life until finally I was like, screw it. We're not going to do this to yourself anymore.
But it was always in the back of your head?
Always. It was like, imagine a mosquito that lived in your head every single day.
Because sometimes people hear those things, they don't think about it, they suppress it, they don't
know.
Right.
I was suppressing it, but it was still very much so alive.
Because clearly you knew you could sing. There was a piece of you, obviously, that knew you could.
Yes, and I just loved it.
Have you had a come to... Obviously, that person was a significant person in your life that told you could not sing. Have you had a come to Jesus with that person?
No, I won't. because I think it would cause more pain to them than it would help the situation. I'm now in the process, because it's not necessarily about them.
Right.
It's more over
1000%.
my own fear of it. So I think at the end of the day, it's really just me continuing to get over the fear, as opposed to, hey, by the way, you screwed my life up for a really long time. And I think it would just be so heartbreaking to them that, to me, it's not worth it.
They don't see or hear these and think, oh, that could have been me.
I guess not.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like posting something that you think,
Like cryptically.
yeah, that you think the person is going to completely get, and they're never get it.
Yeah. No. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm all right with that.
Obviously, the world is happy that you're singing, or your fans.
Yeah.
Your 99,000 fans are happy that you're singing.
Yep.
You have a message. You have I think what attracted me to you initially, and what attracts me to people like you, is your narrative is so strong. You know who you are. You know, I think I was talking to our mutual friend Jensen and Tara, really about the industry and about artists, and about now for artists to cut through at all, the narrative has to be so clear, because people are so distracted by so much that if you don't know who you are, and it's, you know, you used to be able to kind of find yourself.
Sure.
It's like everything now. It's like, you know, there are so many people, and you should be able to kind of find your way. But right now, to cut through, you have to be like, it has to be simple and clear who you are.
Yes.
The minute I met you, I'm sure if you just are meeting her now, you can kind of get an idea of who she is, right? I mean, it's pretty clear. So I think that benefits you as an artist, and certainly makes you wildly appealing to people who find that appealing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's taken like probably, I feel like I know myself more today than I ever have, you know, and it's because I'm allowing myself to just do what I want to do. Yes, I'm still afraid of it. I'm still a little bit I still want people to like me. I still want people to like my music. I'm not going to lie. You know, I think we all do. You want people to like your podcast, you know, but at the end of the day, there's going to be people that don't, and you just expect it. And I think being able to mitigate how you respond to the inevitable hate and BS that's thrown at us is what really allows you to succeed. And so I feel like I can look back and say, damn, I wish I would have started this earlier and wasn't so afraid my entire freaking life. But I feel like out of all of those things that I went through and did, it prepared me to be like, okay, this is the biggest mountain that you've been wanting to climb. And this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever freaking done every single day of your life. But you have a lot of tools to pull from for that. And if I did it when I was 19, I have no idea how that would turn out for me.
And to be clear, everybody shouldn't like what you do. That
Totally.
is the definition of art, really.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
They shouldn't. And life.
Right. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes it interesting.
Right.
I'm not going to like everything you do. You're not going to like everything I do. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be best buds.
Right.
You know?
No, I used to, I'll never forget too, on the air one day, somebody was really mad at an older guy I worked with.
Okay.
And I was so young and such a girl, and definitely not able to hear any criticism at all.
Sure, yeah.
It wasn't even to me, and it flustered me. I was like, and she said something like, well, this is my first being able to respond to people. And she said, well, that's not, that is certainly, not what country music is about. But, I think he'd said something about, and I did say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What country music are you listening to? This was even 20 years ago. I'm like, there's cheating and there's drinking and there's I think he'd said something that was so she found so morally offensive. And I was like, even then I was able to go, I don't know what country music you're listening to. Right. But it's the only music I've ever played on the radio, and it's always had cheating. Yeah. It's always had
drinking and
some sort of. Of course, it's always had family and God and those things as well. But that's the whole point. We're all complex humans who are flawed.
Absolutely. And if you're sitting there thinking that you're not, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everyone else about it.
Hey, friend.
Hey, yeah, no, that's not the case. But that's what I love about country music because, people, I hear sometimes like, well, you're not country, and it's like, because I have short hair that's now I have a mullet, so because of my mullet. And
isn't it a gullet if you're a girl?
Is it?
Just made that up.
Let's start it. It is now.
It's a gullet, girl.
I call it my manicured gullet.
Well, technically, I guess you don't look country.
I don't look country.
But your sound is super country.
It is, yeah. And I'm born and raised in South Texas. I grew up on country music. But one of the things that I love about country music is that it's the full spectrum. And I feel like at least the best songs, it feels like you're reading someone's journal.
Yeah.
Their diary, their biggest, deepest thoughts.
Rhinestone Cowgirl is so country.
It is. It's so country.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's like me. I'm from Kentucky, and because I'm really a broadcaster first. Mm-hmm. I once was up for a job, and they said I wasn't country enough. I'm like, why? Because I don't have an accent.
Right.
You have to have an accent to be country. Sorry. Yeah, so I totally get it.
My dad has a strong accent. Mine will come out like here and there, but I did Miss Texas and Miss United States, and they wanted me to train that out of me.
Same.
Yeah.
In broadcasting, they say you want a neutral accent.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I drink enough, and I'll drag my eyes.
Girl, me too.
Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And also, my mom's from Ireland, so I had a little bit of bit of like not totally traditional. I wasn't raised in a super, country house as far as that goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they want you to sound Midwestern, really, if anything.
Right, exactly. And I'm Texan, born and raised.
Yeah. Well, you heard it there. She's like, I'm Texan, born and raised. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Kelly.
Yeah.
Shut it.
Bless your heart. I'll take you down there.
That's
we'll
right.
shoot some guns.
You want this gullet?
You sure don't.
You don't. You don't want to see. Not today, bitch. Mm-mm.
This gullet will take you down.
So let's talk about the podcast.
Okay.
It's very like your new song.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make it.
Go ahead and make it.
Love.
Said you want love. Let's go ahead and make it.
It's very sensual.
Yeah. It's like it's that fun summer loving late night kind of thing.
And the podcast is about sex?
It's all on love, sex, and relationships. I actually don't do the podcast anymore, but I had a podcast host, Dr. Wednesday Martin, who specializes in female sexuality. And so we would just bring on different experts in the field to just learn about it and have like a open, educational, but fun conversation about anything and everything.
I love that.
Which I feel like, that's why I wanted to do it, because it was like, I didn't see that enough out there. And it was just like, we need to be able to have these open conversations without worry or judgment about it. And if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it.
Did you have guests on all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most interesting thing you learned on the podcast?
God, I learned so much on there. It really, really opened my mind. I'll tell you that much. I can't even remember like some of the best ones. I'd have to go back and like look at it.
Because it's been a huge period of discovery for me. I was married a very long time. Never dated before I got married.
Really?
And I just divorced in 2020.
Wow. So this is like a whole new reinvention, kind of like what we talked about.
Everything.
I mean, not just the show, but like your entire life.
Everything. This is my tattoo. This is the triskelion. It's about reinvention. My father got this when he was 60 years old.
Wow.
And he died at 62. And so almost many people in my family now have this. It's an Irish symbol of reinvention, rediscovery. So it's kind of a daily reminder to,
I was about to say, this is my constant reminder. It's on the same side.
You have to tell the story of this. You just got this
7/6/16.
Yeah. Talk about why that's, you posted about it on 7/6.
Yeah, I did, because I was just so fed up with myself one day that I wasn't, fully pursuing music in the way that I wanted to be doing. I felt like I hadn't had the podcast yet, but I wanted to do a podcast. There were so many ways that I was just playing small and silencing myself and being like, no, honey, you're not good enough for that, or it's not your time, or you just need to sit here. I was also engaged at the time, so I should just be a good wife at home and all of that. And I just wasn't speaking up in any realm of my life, which was incredibly frustrating for me. And I said that day, screw it. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. So I'm going to go and tattoo it on my wrist in blood red at some random tattoo shop on 6th Street in Austin. And I use it as a constant reminder to always go towards your fears. And so if I feel myself starting to hold myself back, it's like, this is a slap in the face. It's like, nah, go. You know exactly what you need to do. And so I use fear now as my guiding star. If I don't know what I need to do, I'll start to ask myself, okay, what are you most afraid of right now? And I will just take a step towards whatever that is with no out.
But it still pauses you, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm still scared shitless most of the time. Like, a lot of people look at me and they say, oh, you must be fearless because, you know, you're doing your biggest fear right now and you've gotten into a ring with someone who wanted to hit your face off and, you know, all of these things. And no. I am absolutely terrified most of the time.
I think that's important to remind people because I do think obviously on social media, you just can't be that vulnerable because it's too nuanced and you just can't. It's done. I don't even need to explain why you can't.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's a moment, especially for people in the public eye where you know, you're killing it. Well, it's great. Well, obviously life is more complex than that.
So much.
And if that inspires people, that's awesome. But Yeah.
I mean, for me, I doubt myself constantly. I am absolutely terrified of what I'm doing currently. I still have to go into therapy and talk about the same patterns that I have of overcoming fear and feeling, you know, and dealing with imposter syndrome and just all of that like ugly kind of shadowy stuff we don't want to feel because it feels uncomfortable. And that comes up for me so much.
I think it's important for people to hear because of social media, I do think, and we're stating the obvious, but I think it is important for people to hear again.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like if you're stuck in a rut and you're looking at people who appear to be killing it, it isn't ever that easy.
It digs you in deeper, you know, and they might be killing it, but that's their highlight reel. And we talk about that all the time, right? Yeah. But it truly is. And I find when I'm really screwing myself over and I really want to give it to me and tell me how terrible of a person I am and how sucky I am, I'm like, look, I'm gonna compare all of what I see as my worst flaws to their greatest of great strengths, you know? And because you see social media and it's their highlight reel. So I look at it, this is their strength, and I'm all of a sudden comparing it to, well, I'm not there yet, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. So I'm using my weaknesses and comparing it against their strengths, which ultimately is the worst place to be in because it's always a loss.
You're always gonna. I think that's the key. Is you just can't do that because whatever you're comparing, you'll always lose. Whatever it is, whether it's looks, money, humor, songs.
I think there's that quote that says like comparison is the thief of joy, and it's just simple. As soon as you start comparing, you're automatically cutting off your source to joy and happiness and inspiration and motivation. So you just have to like retrain yourself every day.
So, all right. So you got the new song about the sissy song about going and making love, and the new EP's coming out.
Yes.
And this is the one that really has been kind of your reinvention. You're digging deeper than you've ever dug and kind of coming through all this shit we've been talking about.
For sure. Like I'm taking it there, and kind of like what we're talking about is just being as vulnerable and open as an individual as I possibly can, and doing it for me instead of, you know, doing ultimately, I'd love to win some CMAs and I'd love to go to the Grammys and all of this for sure. But ultimately at the end of the day, if I can lay my head on the pillow and say like, you did it for you and you feel good about it, it's already a win. But so the new EP is going to be very different from what you've heard from my last singles that I've put out. It's going to be it's going to be edgier. It's going to be way more rock, still country, but definitely edgy, very rock country.
You seem like a rocker chick. Yeah. That seems more on brand.
For sure.
Right?
And I, as I've like gotten more into my music, it's just easier for me. That feels good to me. It feels more fun. It feels inspiring, and it just sits better with me as opposed to doing Diamond Country. Super fun, right? Over the top, in your face. So fun, we'll go to the bar and dance on the bar in our rhinestone boots. We love it. But it's almost like you were talking about earlier is, your first podcast won't see the light of day. I look back at Diamond Country and I'm like, oh, cute little Whitney, look at you go in your rhinestones.
My daddy's going to be so proud.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to flip that completely on its head this year.
Right, which you should be able to do, because that's what growth is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
So we're looking at early October.
The kind of subtext of the podcast is the Nashville truth.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I just ask everybody to share what their Nashville truth is.
Ooh, that's interesting. I think Nashville, from what I have seen, I moved here a year and a half ago from Texas, so I'm still getting my feet wet here. I'm still a little guppy in this little seat. But I have found that everyone is very collaborative, very open. Thankfully, I haven't dealt with any clickiness from what I can tell, which is huge for me. And so I really feel like Nashville is a place that people come to be themselves as much as they can and say what they want to say and sing what they want to sing and bring their friends and family along with them along the way. I know that there's another side to it. I know that there's always another side to the coin, but for me, inherently, it's been a place that I can fully do and be who I want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's universally what a lot of people say.
Really?
So it has kind of so far matched up to what you thought it would be, or did you think it would be harder? Did you think it would be
Man, this is
easier?
The hardest thing I've ever done, period. I'm still making friends and figuring out like who my family and tribe is here for sure. But the move to this city, I would say, at the bottom line, has been easier.
What has surprised you about it? The collaboration, the collaborative spirit?
How collaborative everyone is. Yeah.
What I can say what surprised me is, even as a little bit of a negative, I guess, is how small it is.
Oh, girl. That for sure.
I mean, it is
teeny, tiny. But it's like Nashville, and then it gets smaller and smaller the more you're in the music industry, and it's like there's like 10 people.
Yeah, like honestly, you just
and they've all dated each other.
Yep,
they've all it's like it's so funny.
You can't fish from the same pond, so you just got to be real careful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I thought Austin was really small, and then I moved here, and I was like, oh nope, I know nothing.
You just gotta shh.
Yeah.
Shh. Keep your mouth shut.
Which I honestly think is kind of good.
It's good. That's what I'm saying. It's not a full on negative.
Yeah.
It's just you got to be cognizant of it.
Right.
Right.
It teaches you to be like, okay, should I be saying this or doing this? It kind of probably holds you accountable a little bit.
When I'd had a few cocktails. Usually,
like tequila, no.
Usually I think of that when I go home. I'm like,
the Sunday scaries.
Wish I remembered that.
The Sunday scaries in Nashville are rampant.
What did I say last time? No. Did I... Give me your phone real quick, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Did I put her number in there?
I don't think so.
Dang it.
No, but didn't you call it?
Did I call it?
No, I don't know. Here you go.
Shoot. Now I think I messed it up. I don't think I can do it.
Okay.
Okay. Here's what I was gonna do.
Okay.
But I don't think I can.
Surprise.
It was a surprise. I'm gonna set you up with somebody because I have intel that you have a passion for tornadoes.
Oh my God, I do. I'm so obsessed with tornadoes. What are you about to say?
Are you? First of all, you're this is what we should do. I'll get to that. But my literal best friend in the world,
yes,
is a meteorologist on Fox Weather.
Oh my gosh, she's so cool. I'm serious.
Like I've known her forever, and her real name is Freeze, Amy Freeze.
What? Get out of town.
Yeah. So I somehow want to set you up to get on Fox Weather with her.
Please.
I was trying to call her today, but so anyway, it didn't work out.
Y'all, I am weirdly obsessed with tornadoes. I just went
let's
storm
talk
chasing.
about that. I know. That's what I saw.
Yeah, it was so cool. We went about a month ago. We went through Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Colorado, just chasing these storms that do not look real. It looks like an alien spaceship is coming towards you. It's truly just remarkable. I don't understand
Till it lifts your house up off the foundation, and then you feel it's real, sister.
That's very true. And that's very true. But that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be a storm chaser growing up. I was like, so I grew up with hurricanes. So
Did someone tell you couldn't do that either?
Yeah, right.
You're like, I'm going to be a storm chaser if it kills me. Yeah. And it will.
It probably will. I mean, listen, if I'm like 90-something years old and I get sucked up into a tornado, that's a pretty good way for Whitney to go out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Singing a song.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I get that this is documented, but I did write a song last week with Joe Denham. You know Joe Denham?
I don't know him personally, but yes.
And it is called Shady Acres Trailer Park.
Yeah.
And basically the chorus is, let me get it right. You saw the warning. You should have seen the warnings. I gave you all the warnings. I was the E5.
Ooh, yeah.
It was Shady Acres Trailer Park. I was a tornado.
Should have heard me coming.
It was about sex.
Yeah. Well,
I knocked him off his cinder blocks.
yes, you did.
So, no, don't write that to anybody else. It's going to be a smash.
Yeah, it's already written.
Yeah.
Don't steal that.
Double wide trouble here.
Knocked him off his cinder blocks. That's so cute.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I am obsessed with that. It just excites me.
How many careers can you? This is you're like me. Like you have a lot of interests.
I do. I have a lot of interests. And I mean, I really see life as I see life as a playground. And it's like, let me go swing on those monkey bars. Let me go down that slide and let me go see what's over here, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be laying on my deathbed, as cliche as it sounds, being like, oh man, I wonder if only I would have tried to do that. No, I'm going to find out what it is and how it feels and how it tastes and all the things.
See, I love this about you because I ended up having 3 kids, which I loved.
Yeah.
No regrets, married, and I've always had a taste of that. Now that I have no encumbrances.
Right. Yeah.
I want to jump out of an airplane.
I'll go with you.
That's what I'm asking you.
Done.
My birthday is in August. Will you jump out of an airplane with me?
1,000%.
Okay.
We can go chase tornadoes. We can go jump out of airplanes.
I don't know why. I ain't scared of chasing a tornado. I just seems like a lot of waiting.
Okay, so truthfully, it really is. And I wasn't.
Like, I don't know why it doesn't interest me. It's not that I'm scared. I'm just like,
girl, we drove 2,000 miles in 3 days.
That's what I'm saying.
Which you can probably tell that I'm a pretty hyperactive person. So having Whitney sitting in the back seat, like chomping at the bit. Oh, God.
Like, when's it coming? Yeah,
exactly.
That's the only reason I'm not. I'm like, you go do that.
Like, can we just take a helicopter straight to the storm and then drop me off and then boom.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll do something else with you. That seems like. I mean,
we'll do the plane. We'll skydive.
I'm gonna set you up with Amy though. Somehow, I promise to somehow get you on Fox Weather. I feel like you should be a correspondent or something.
Yes, I'm in.
All right, so we've got that set up. We've got the jumping out of airplanes.
We're so busy.
Your new EP is coming out.
I know.
I don't even know what else. What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, maybe go to some shows once I start playing them after my EP. We'll do that.
I'll be your MC.
Yeah.
This is another bucket list thing that we should do. I want to do a USO tour.
Okay, done.
Yeah, I feel like that. I mean, again, we could go to war zones. I'm cool with that.
The Kelly and Whitney show.
Yeah,
everywhere. I know.
Is there I feel like there's we could come up with a couple name for that.
Hey, we could have a nickname.
I know. That's what I'm... See, they were thinking alike.
Getting here, yeah.
All right, we're going to work on that.